We are Cory and Wallace, an early retired couple on a full-time journey around the world. With a passion for exploring new cultures, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying delicious local food, we are on a mission to experience as much of the world as we can.
Buenos dias from Mexico City.
We are on our way to the Museo Nacional de Antropología, or the National Anthropology Museum. And to do that, we're just walking today from our Airbnb, and we're here currently at Chapultepec Park, which is this massive urban park here in Mexico City. It is over twice as large as Central Park in New York City. But we're going to be coming back and checking out more of the park in a future video. For now, we're going to go straight over to the museum because we've been told that it is a really, really good one.
Yeah, we were told it by a couple people that it is the best in the world. And those are from people that travel. So we've got high expectations, no idea if we can film. So come along with us.
Let's get going.
We are now in the museum. As it turns out, you can actually film as long as you pay for the privilege, I guess. It was 63 pesos for that.
And 210 pesos per person for admission. And this is a really big museum from the looks of it. So we're gonna go start checking it out, starting with this really cool water feature you can see behind us.
We have made it through the museum. Now, we took 3 hours. It very easily could have taken many, many more.
Easily could have been double that. Yeah, this museum is huge and has a really large collection of stuff to see.
A few things that made it challenging for us. There's very little English signage. I would say maybe 25%. if
Probably
that.
less, yeah, exactly.
Which is fine because we're in Mexico. I expect things to be in Spanish. So I think they do have tour guides. I saw some tour guides doing tours. And
I believe you can also buy or rent like an audio guide, like guided tour, like with headphones kind of thing, and a little I don't know what kind of little digital recorder kind of thing.
we chose not to do that mainly because it's a lot of information and eventually it just gets overwhelming. Even just walking through this museum got overwhelming. There's so much to it.
Yeah. The other challenge for us, we typically rely on Google Translate. Unfortunately, because of these big concrete buildings, a lot of times when you're inside, there is no signal. So Google Translate was hit or miss whether that would actually work reliably or not. Still, this place was really cool. There's a lot to see here, a lot of really cool pieces, as well as reproductions of cave paintings and things like that. Just all sorts of really neat stuff to see.
Yeah, so upstairs, there's an upstairs to it. I think that was just like more of like modern day stuff and like artwork and stuff. But the downstairs is definitely the highlight. There's everything you can imagine. There's depictions of like the Mayan ruins. There's depictions of some pyramids. They do outside, they have like outside areas that depict a lot of what you would see if you went to a Mayan ruin.
Numerous outdoor areas as well that are incorporated within the museum. So as you're wandering through, you'll see these exit doors to go out into like a little courtyard area. Yes, and I agree, they did a very good job integrating that into the exhibits as well.
Yeah, I think the only other real challenge is that there's no indication as to what way is kind of like the best way to go. Like a lot of museums, you kind of like get herded through and you kind of like take it in order, I guess. There is none of that here. again, it's just their choosing of what they do. Totally doesn't take away from this museum. I still think it's 100% worth it.
But odds are you're going to get lost at some point in here because we took a couple wrong turns on more than one occasion and end up circling around back to where you already were. But again, that is what it is. Still really neat, and I think that is pretty much where we're going to leave it for today. We are back here in Chapultepec Park today.
And today we were going to see the castle. However, the lineup is very
huge.
I'm thinking it's like a 2 to 3 hour wait, but we're in it. We'll see how fast it goes. Maybe we'll just get in, no problems.
The line is moving. We have moved in the couple minutes we've been here. So maybe it won't be that long. Maybe it's only half an hour to an hour long line. We don't know. Yeah, stay tuned. Okay, the line was huge, but to be fair, very efficient. They moved through it really quickly. It's 20 minutes later at this point, and we've got our tickets. 210 Mexican pesos per adult for foreigners to go in, and 63 pesos for a filming permit to bring our GoPro in to film this. That's pretty straightforward. There's kiosks, you can pay with Visa card or you can pay with cash. And now we're gonna go wander around the outside and find the entrance to the actual castle itself.
The only other thing to note is that you're not allowed any backpacks, water. You're not allowed to carry anything in, basically. No food, no nothing. So that's something to keep in mind when you come. After a bit of a walk, we're out of breath only because we're at elevation.
About 7,600 feet of elevation right now.
It's not a hard walk, it's just elevation. We are now at the castle.
It is really beautiful. It was built starting in 1785 until 1864 was when it was completed. And at varying times throughout its history, it was originally built for the Viceroy of Spain, I believe, because of course Mexico was a Spanish colony at one point. But at varying points in its history, it has been a military academy, an imperial palace, a presidential residence, and since 1939, it has been the National Museum of History. The building itself looks stunning, obviously Spanish colonial architecture. It's very busy today, beautiful sunny day here in Mexico City, so we're going to wander in and have a look. We're just working our way around the outside of the main level here, and so far we've seen a reading room, a games room, and a smoking room. The architecture, again, is just gorgeous. The rooms are really lavishly decorated. Definitely, you get the impression that this was like an imperial, like palace kind of thing at one point.
This is by far the most intricate and most beautiful stained glass I've ever seen. It is just so artistic.
We're about a quarter of the way through. We're not 100% sure how much more there is left, but this is 100% worth coming to. It is gorgeous.
And all the signage is in both Spanish and English, so we're actually able to read and learn about some of the history, but the actual castle itself and the displays are just stunning.
And I don't know if we're here on off season or whatnot, but it's really not that busy in here, and everybody is super respectful. Like if they see you taking photos, they're stepping back and letting you take photos. That hasn't really been our experience up until this point, so it's really refreshing.
Yeah, no, definitely having a great time here, and like Cory said, I don't think we're even a quarter of the way through yet.
Yeah. And unlike Pellish Castle, which was absolutely freaking gorgeous, we're able to take our time, we're able to backtrack, we're able to just go through it really slowly. We're not being herded through, which is really nice.
So correction, it looks like we're about halfway done, but that section of the castle and the museum, absolutely stunning. So we're gonna go check out the rest now. So that is going to do it for Chapultepec Castle. The second half, unfortunately, didn't have any English signage. It was all in Spanish. But what did you think?
I think it's absolutely stunning. Even though some of it's not in English, it's totally fine. Everything that you're looking at is absolutely freaking gorgeous. And the murals and stuff, they kind of like give you the story themselves. One really cool little tidbit on this place, Romeo and Juliet. This was the Capulet Castle in the movie, which is kind of cool.
The one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Yeah.
That Romeo and Juliet movie is what Cory's referring to. But yeah, no, absolutely stunning. Really cool collection, really beautiful, and well worth the visit. Definitely worth the price of admission as far as I'm concerned.
Out of all the castles that we've seen, besides Pellish Castle, this ranks top 3, I would say, for sure. Almost top 1. It's just a lot chiller here, so actually being able to take everything in is just a relaxed pace, which is more our speed.
And that's high praise, because Pellish Castle was amazing. Anyways, we are going to continue wandering through Chapultepec Park now, and I think we're going to go and try to find the zoo next.
We are now at Chapultepec Zoo, which is free for general admission to see the main zoo exhibit itself. There are exhibits that require extra pay, like the butterfly gardens and a herpetarium, and I think there's like a dinosaur exhibit. I believe those are around 99 pesos per person for each of those separate sections. But we're just going to go in and wander the main part of the zoo for today and enjoy the free experience. We are here at the panda enclosure at the Chapultepec Zoo. Interesting fact, Mexico owns the only panda bear in the world currently that is not owned by the People's Republic of China. Her name is Shinshin, and she is the granddaughter of the original pair that were gifted by China to Mexico back in 1975, I believe it was. She's the only panda here in this exhibit now. It's her enclosure behind us. We did see her over in, there's like a darkened feeding area, and we did get a glimpse of her there, but it was really hard to photograph, so we weren't able to capture anything.
Yeah, so a few interesting facts. The parents, the original parents, they had 8 children. Unfortunately, she's the last living.
No, sorry.
Oh.
Mexico has bred, this zoo has actually bred 8 pandas in total since 1975. Not all 8 were the original pairs, because she's the granddaughter. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, still, Mexico's had apparently one of the most successful panda breeding programs in the world, and they were the first ever outside of China to successfully breed a panda bear in captivity back in I want to say it was 1980, but I could be wrong.
And they hypothesize it's because of the elevation, because they naturally live at elevation.
Yeah, so
they're pretty hard to breed. So
yeah, so the climate here apparently is fairly similar to the mountain regions back in China where they're from. So that was a cool fact. Anyways,
so sadly, she's the last living panda here. So as far as the zoo goes, I mean, they've got like the standard wolves, giraffes,
lions
and stuff.
The giraffes were hilarious.
Yeah, but as far as like the enclosures and stuff, they're not the worst we've seen. The animals look healthy. Some of them look a little stressed, but for the most part, they're actually not that bad. So for being a free zoo, I would say it's probably up there with being one of the better ones.
Yeah, so if you're here in Mexico City looking for something to do while you're wandering through Chapultepec Park, it's a nice place to visit. It is free to enter the general part of the zoo, and you can see a lot without paying anything. You can pay extra to see the butterfly exhibits and stuff like that if you so choose. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I think there's a lot more to see if you want to wander through Chapultepec Park. Like I said before, this place is double the size of Central Park in New York City. So yeah, you could spend literally hours in here. But we are gonna call it here, I think. So thanks very much for joining us here in Mexico City. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up to give us a like and make sure to subscribe.
And join us in our other videos for more adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.
So that is an on-ramp for this side street to get onto the highway. But what they're doing is on the highway, they're pulling over, backing down the on-ramp, and then coming up the side street. Mexico, right? You see that gray car there? He's trying to get onto the highway, but everyone's backing up into him. Wow.
This is so entertaining. Yep.
I wouldn't allow it. I'd just move forward.
I think she's trying to.
No, she's not aggressive enough. And that one just hit. He made contact. Because he can't drive. That was something else. I have never seen that before. And we've seen some crazy traffic